You know that feeling when you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, willing yourself to fall asleep? Your mind is racing, your body feels restless, and the more you try to sleep, the more awake you become. What if I told you that the reason you can't sleep has nothing to do with your mattress, your pillow, or even your stress levels? The real culprit is something you're doing in the hours before bed, and once you understand what it is, you'll never make this mistake again. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes and hoping for the best. It's a biological process that begins preparing hours before you actually lie down. Your body has an internal clock, a circadian rhythm, that's constantly working to get you ready for rest. But here's the problem. Most of us are unknowingly sabotaging this natural process every single night. Let's start with the most obvious mistake, the one that's probably affecting you right now: your phone. That glowing rectangle you can't seem to put down. You're scrolling through social media, checking emails, watching videos, all while your brain is being bombarded with blue light. This isn't just about the light keeping you awake. Blue light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. When you expose yourself to blue light in the evening, you're essentially telling your brain that it's still daytime. Your internal clock gets confused, and suddenly your body doesn't know when it's supposed to sleep anymore. But it's not just the blue light. It's what you're consuming on that screen. Think about it. You're watching news clips about disasters, reading heated debates in comment sections, getting work emails that stress you out. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and a digital one. When you see something stressful on your phone, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol and sleep are enemies. They cannot coexist. If your cortisol levels are elevated before bed, your body is in fight or flight mode, the exact opposite state you need to be in for sleep. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just put my phone away an hour before bed. That's a great start, but there's another mistake you're probably making that's just as damaging: exercise. Yes, you heard that right. Exercise is incredible for your health and can actually improve your sleep quality, but only if you time it correctly. If you're doing intense workouts late in the evening, you're raising your core body temperature and pumping adrenaline through your system right when your body is trying to wind down. Your body temperature naturally drops in the evening as part of your sleep preparation process. When you exercise intensely before bed, you're fighting against this natural decline. You're also flooding your system with endorphins and adrenaline, which are designed to make you feel alert and energized. It's like drinking an espresso before bed and wondering why you can't sleep. The ideal time for intense exercise is in the morning or early afternoon, giving your body plenty of time to cool down and return to baseline before sleep. Here's another mistake that surprises people. What you eat for dinner matters more than you think. A heavy, rich meal late at night forces your digestive system to work overtime while you're trying to sleep. Your body can't fully relax when it's busy digesting a massive steak or a plate of pasta. But it's not just about the quantity of food. Certain foods are particularly disruptive to sleep. Anything spicy can raise your body temperature and cause discomfort. Foods high in fat take longer to digest and can cause acid reflux when you lie down. And sugar? Sugar causes blood glucose spikes and crashes that can wake you up in the middle of the night. Even the timing of your last meal matters. Eating too close to bedtime means your body is still in active digestion mode when you're trying to sleep. The general rule is to finish eating at least 3 hours before bed. This gives your body time to process the food and begin shifting into rest mode. Now let's talk about something that might be happening in your bedroom right now: temperature. Most people keep their bedrooms way too warm. You might think a warm, cozy room is perfect for sleep, but science says otherwise. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate and maintain sleep. If your room is too warm, you're making this process much harder. The ideal bedroom temperature for sleep is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That might feel cold at first, but that's actually the sweet spot for optimal sleep. And while we're talking about your bedroom environment, let's address light. Even small amounts of light can disrupt your sleep. That little LED on your phone charger, the glow from your alarm clock, the street light coming through your curtains. Your body is incredibly sensitive to light, even when your eyes are closed. Light signals to your brain that it's time to be awake, and even minimal exposure can suppress melatonin production and fragment your sleep. Your bedroom should be as dark as possible. Think cave-like, complete darkness. Here's a mistake that almost everyone makes, and it has to do with routine, or rather, the lack of one. Your body craves consistency. When you go to bed at different times every night, you're constantly confusing your internal clock. Your body never knows when it's supposed to start preparing for sleep. One night you're in bed at 10, the next night it's 1 in the morning, and on weekends you're up until 3. Your circadian rhythm can't adapt to this chaos. You're essentially giving yourself jet lag over and over again without ever leaving your time zone. The solution is simple, but requires discipline. Go to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. Wake up at the same time every morning, even on weekends. Yes, this means setting an alarm on Saturday morning. It sounds harsh, but this consistency is one of the most powerful tools for improving your sleep. After a few weeks of a consistent schedule, your body will start naturally feeling tired at your bedtime and naturally waking up around your wake time. You won't need to force it anymore. But here's something even more subtle that's destroying your sleep: naps. If you're taking long naps in the afternoon or evening, you're stealing sleep pressure from your nighttime sleep. Sleep pressure is the biological drive to sleep that builds up throughout the day. The longer you're awake, the more sleep pressure accumulates, making it easier to fall asleep at night. When you nap, you release some of that pressure. If your nap is too long or too late in the day, you won't have enough sleep pressure built up by bedtime. You'll lie in bed feeling like you should be tired, but unable to actually fall asleep. If you absolutely need to nap, keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes max, and do it before 3 in the afternoon. This gives you a little energy boost without significantly impacting your nighttime sleep pressure. Now let's talk about something that people often use to help them sleep, but that actually makes things worse: alcohol. A glass of wine before bed might make you feel drowsy and help you fall asleep faster, but alcohol is one of the worst things you can consume before sleep. Here's why. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, the stage of sleep where dreaming occurs and where your brain processes emotions and consolidates memories. When you drink before bed, you might fall asleep quickly, but the quality of that sleep is terrible. You're also more likely to wake up in the middle of the night when the alcohol wears off. Your sleep becomes fragmented, and you wake up feeling exhausted, even if you technically spent 8 hours in bed. The same goes for using sleep medications regularly. They might knock you out, but they don't produce natural, restorative sleep. You're essentially sedating yourself, which is not the same as sleeping. Your brain doesn't go through the proper sleep cycles, and you miss out on the deep, restorative stages that your body needs. Here's another thing people don't realize. Stress and anxiety before bed create a vicious cycle. You can't sleep because you're stressed, and then you become stressed about not being able to sleep, which makes it even harder to fall asleep. Your bedroom starts to become associated with anxiety rather than relaxation. You walk into your bedroom, and instead of feeling calm, you feel tense, anticipating another night of tossing and turning. Breaking this cycle requires creating a buffer zone between your day and your sleep. You need a wind-down routine that signals to your brain that the day is over and it's time to relax. This might be reading a book, taking a warm bath, doing some gentle stretching, or practicing meditation. The key is that it's consistent and relaxing. No screens, no work, no stressful conversations. Just calm, peaceful activities that help your nervous system shift from sympathetic, the fight-or-flight mode, to parasympathetic, the rest and digest mode. And here's something that might surprise you. Trying too hard to sleep actually keeps you awake. When you lie in bed thinking about how you need to fall asleep, calculating how many hours you have left before you need to wake up, worrying about how tired you'll be tomorrow, you're creating anxiety. Your brain interprets this as a problem that needs to be solved, which activates your stress response. Suddenly, you're more awake than when you first got into bed. The paradox of sleep is that it requires letting go. You can't force yourself to sleep. You have to allow it to happen. If you've been lying in bed for more than 20 minutes and you're not asleep, get up. Go to another room, do something boring and relaxing in dim light, and only return to bed when you feel genuinely sleepy. This prevents your brain from associating your bed with wakefulness and frustration. One more thing that's absolutely critical. Your bed should only be for sleep, not for watching TV, not for scrolling through your phone, not for working on your laptop. When your bed becomes associated with a dozen different activities, your brain doesn't have a clear signal that bed equals sleep. You need that strong association. Bed means sleep, nothing else. This trains your brain to start the sleep process as soon as you lie down. Let's also talk about caffeine, because most people don't realize how long it stays in your system. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you have a cup of coffee at 4 in the afternoon, half of that caffeine is still in your system at 10 at night. Even if you don't feel jittery or wired, that caffeine is still affecting your brain's ability to fall into deep sleep. You might fall asleep, but the quality is compromised. If you're serious about improving your sleep, cut off all caffeine by noon at the latest. So what should you do instead? What does a perfect pre-sleep routine look like? It starts in the late afternoon. Get some natural light exposure. Go for a walk outside, sit by a window, anything that exposes your eyes to natural daylight. This helps regulate your circadian rhythm and reinforces the difference between day and night. Then, as evening approaches, start dimming the lights in your home. This signals to your brain that the day is ending. Avoid bright overhead lights and switch to lamps with warm-colored bulbs. Have a light dinner at least 3 hours before bed. Nothing too heavy, nothing too spicy, nothing with caffeine or excessive sugar. Then begin your wind-down routine about an hour before bed. Put away all screens, seriously, all of them. Read a physical book, journal, do some light stretching, take a warm bath. The warm bath is particularly effective because when you get out, your body temperature drops rapidly, which mimics the natural temperature drop that occurs before sleep. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. If you have trouble with noise, consider using a white noise machine or a fan. If light is an issue, invest in blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for sleep. Keep it clean, comfortable, and free from clutter. The environment matters more than you think. When you finally get into bed, practice some deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation. These techniques activate your parasympathetic nervous system and help your body physically relax. Don't lie there thinking about your to-do list or replaying conversations from the day. If thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently bring your attention back to your breath. The truth is, sleep is not something that happens to you. It's something you create through your choices and habits throughout the day, and especially in the hours before bed. Every time you look at your phone late at night, every time you eat a heavy meal close to bedtime, every time you go to bed at wildly different times, you're making it harder for your body to do what it naturally wants to do, which is sleep. You have more control over your sleep than you realize. It's not about finding the perfect mattress or the perfect pillow. It's about understanding how your body works and creating the conditions that allow natural, restorative sleep to happen. Stop fighting against your biology and start working with it. Your sleep will transform, and with it, your energy, your mood, your health, and your entire quality of life will improve. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity, and you deserve to do it well.